By not prioritizing or not prioritizing well, you could be causing burnout for yourself. You could be making your business a lot more stressful than it needs to be. You could be missing out on opportunities, missing out on potential growth for your business. You could be missing out on taking a step back and making your business more automated, making it run itself better. Welcome to the Process to Profit podcast, where I dig into the key strategies that build successful service-based businesses. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to scale, I'll share practical techniques to help you overcome overwhelm, boost your income, and fall in love with your business again. Let's get your business working for you. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about a really sexy topic, prioritization. Now, I know it doesn't sound super sexy, but prioritization is the key to running a successful business, honestly, in my opinion. It is kind of the most important thing that you as an entrepreneur can learn to do and learn to do well. And we're going to talk about how you can prioritize when it feels like everything is a really urgent thing and everything needs your focus right at that moment. So how do you take a step back, look at the full picture, and decide what it is that you actually want to and should be working on in your business? First, I want to address the elephant in the room. A lot of entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs, feel like prioritization is a waste of time. They feel like if I'm taking time to prioritize my work, then that's less time I'm giving myself to actually do the work. And I understand why people make this assumption. They feel like I need to spend as much time actually being productive as possible. But what prioritization does is it focuses in on the work that you're doing and makes sure that the time that you're spending, the work that you're doing, is on the highest value priority work that you can be working on. It's on the most important thing, the most value add thing, and you won't know what that thing is unless you take the time to actually prioritize the work that you're working on. If you're just flying through your day or week and working on things as they come at you and having all of these things on your plate and you're answering emails as they come in and you're just kind of going through the motions and not really thinking through why you're working on what you're working on or why you're spending your time in a certain place, then you're not being as productive as you can. And you may be working on things that maybe you shouldn't be spending your time on and missing out on things that you also should be spending your time on. So prioritization helps you focus the time that you have and make sure that you are working on the highest value things and that you're not wasting your time on things that are not important and not urgent at the moment. And you may be thinking, well, I'm busy all the time, so I must be providing value. I must be doing important things. And being busy is a trap. Being busy makes you feel like you're being productive. It makes you feel like you're creating value. It makes you feel like you're getting things done. But the reality is, do you know that the things that you're busy with are the things that you should be busy with? Or are they just things that you're doing to fill your time because you don't really know what else you're supposed to be doing? Yes, I'm talking to you. You don't really know what else you should be doing. So you're just like, well, this is the nearest thing. This is the first thing or the thing I'm most excited about. So this is what I'm going to focus on right now. So it's important for you to really take a step back and realize that just being busy doesn't necessarily mean that you're working on the most important or the most valuable thing in the moment. By not prioritizing or not prioritizing well, you could be causing burnout for yourself. You could be making your business a lot more stressful than it needs to be. You could be missing out on opportunities, missing out on potential growth for your business if that's what you want. I know not everyone wants to continually be adding services and adding clients, but you could be missing out on potential opportunities for other kinds of growth, or perhaps, taking a step back and making your business more automated, making it run itself better. So by really focusing on that prioritization, it really helps you to understand the work that you're doing and the why behind the work that you're doing, and to make sure that the limited time that you do have is spent on the highest value things and the right things that you should be focusing on. Once you start effectively prioritizing your work, then you'll have improved productivity and efficiency. You'll have better decision making because you'll have reasons behind the decisions that you're actually making. You'll probably have a better work-life balance because you'll understand what things really are urgent, what things are important, and what things could potentially wait so that you can go to your kid's dance recital, or you can go to the store with your kid to go back to school shopping, It's important that you understand the importance of the work that you're doing within your business, because it really helps put into perspective everything else that's going on. So if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing within your business, then it's really hard to take a step back and say, oh, that can really wait while I go off and do this other thing that's more important or more urgent at this moment, because I know that this other thing is not super urgent and it's not super important because I've done my prioritization. So one example of this in my own work and life right now is that I've been thinking about adding a group coaching program to my business for new business owners to help them with their systems and their processes right when they're getting started. Because I've seen a lot of new business owners really struggle with the systems, with I don't know what software to use, I don't know if I need to hire someone, and figuring all that out, but they don't have the budget yet to really go for the cost of one-on-one coaching, because it's inexpensive and it's, it is a value add to your business, but sometimes it can be hard to justify that when you're not bringing any money in. So I was thinking of creating a group coaching program, and I was weighing with myself if a new group coaching program is more important for me to be promoting right now than my existing services. Because I already have one-on-one coaching. I already offer a 90-minute fix-it session for just small problems that you need help with. So by adding another service, am I taking away from promoting my original services that may be the better fit for my potential clients? Or is the value added by this potential group coaching service more important than what I might be missing out on in my other existing services? So I'm really trying to, and I'm still figuring this out, I'm really trying to weigh out, how much time do I invest in creating this new program and then promoting it, finding people for the initial beta launch, versus promoting my existing one-on-one services. And, this podcast now is another thing that's taking on a lot of time. So it's really balancing out those priorities and figuring out what's important to me about how my business is run, who I'm helping, and how I'm able to help them. So I don't have a clear answer on this one yet. I do think I am going to develop this coaching program, this group coaching program, but I need to figure out how it fits in priority-wise with all the things I'm already doing within my business. Some of the things I'm thinking through are, what's the potential impact on revenue and growth? The group coaching program is going to be a lower ticket offer. So is that sort of cannibalizing from my higher ticket offers? Is that taking potential clients away? Is it taking my focus away from my, existing high ticket clients? Or am I going to be able to expand this group coaching program and help a lot more people and therefore potentially make more money than I would with the one-on-one coaching? That's something I have to figure out. And then I also have to figure out the time and attention it's going to take to launch this program versus all the other things that I'm already committed to doing. I'm doing a lot of summits. I'm doing a lot of podcast interviews for other people's podcasts. I'm starting this podcast. So it's a lot of things already on my plate, and I'm trying to balance out how much I promote this potential new program versus the things that I'm already doing in my business to keep it running. And then I'm also considering, how does this new program align with my long-term goals in my business? Do I want to start making group coaching part of my usual offerings? Is that something that I want to start offering? Because I don't currently offer any group coaching programs at all. So is that something that I want to consider even adding to my programs? Or do I really just prefer the one-on-one, the personalized service, the way that I can help people really dig into their individual businesses? Because group coaching is a little bit less hands-on for me. It's a little bit less personal. So I want to make sure that people are still getting value out of my services. And I have to figure out, can I provide enough value in a group coaching program that I would feel comfortable with it long-term in my business? Or is maybe I just want to try it and see how it goes. Maybe I just try it and see how people respond to it and the results that I can get from it. And then I decide. Power just flickered. That was weird. But I still seem to be recording. So we'll just keep going. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out if it still fits into the long-term vision of my business and if I want to pursue that or not. And then finally, what's the opportunity cost if I don't pursue this new program? Maybe I could figure out ways to get these clients to be more longer term than just the 6-month coaching program. Maybe there's some other way for us to work together longer term after the program is over. What opportunities am I potentially missing out on if I don't pursue this group coaching program, not just the program itself, but other opportunities that it could open up for me and for my clients. So these are all things that I'm considering in my process and my prioritization right now of where my focus should be in my business. And so I just wanted to give you kind of a behind the scenes look of what factors go into when you're considering prioritizing your work. So let's talk about the actual prioritization framework and how do we kind of take all of these nebulous things floating around in the air and in our heads probably and actually prioritize it. How do we actually make sense of it all so that we know that we are doing the right things, that we are focusing on the value add activities in our business? Well, the first thing is to do a brain dump. Now, you're going to want to write everything down in your business, every single thing that you have going on, every little task, not just the big projects. So if you're doing a summit or a bundle, it's not just, oh, I have to do this bundle. It's, I have to create the presentation. I have to create the freebie. I have to create the landing page. I have to create the email list. You have to do all of these steps. So you want to make sure that you're writing everything down. And hopefully you're already using some sort of project management tool or task management tool that will help you have these things already written down. But if not, I highly recommend finding one and using one. I'm going to do an episode on that in the future. But for now, you could do pen and paper or an Excel spreadsheet or something. And write down everything that has to happen in your business. And don't just include projects, include all the day-to-day running of your business. You have to post on social media if you use social media. You have to respond to clients. You have to do client work. You know, if you're a service provider or if you're, a coach or a consultant or a digital product owner, there's work that it takes to run your business every day that's not just promoting and it's not just social media. So make sure all of those tasks are written down. Then I want you to create 2 lists, or you can just tag the things that you've already written down. And I want you to categorize things either urgent or important. Urgent means there's a deadline. You have to do it right now. You have to do it within the next few days. It's somebody's waiting on it. Maybe it's client work and they're expecting it. Urgent is something that has a deadline that someone else is waiting on. And if you don't meet that deadline, something catastrophic is going to happen. It's going to be bad. Those are the urgent things. There shouldn't be very many of them because if you're running your business on solely urgent things, then something has gone wrong. But hopefully this can be an eye-opening exercise for you if you do find that you're having a lot of urgent things. So I want you to label things urgent and important. And not everything will have a label because not everything will be urgent or important. But we're just looking at these 2 labels right now, urgent and important. Important things are things that maybe have a further out deadline or they're things that are important. I'm just going to say they are important. That's what we're trying to define. Things that have a deadline that is a little bit further out, things that someone else is waiting on or depending on, things that your business is going to rely on. If you don't do this thing, then your business is, potentially going to lose money or you're going to fall behind or something bad will happen if this is not done, this task is not done. So you're going to list out only the urgent and important things. And then you're also going to categorize things into revenue generating, operational, and strategic. So a lot of things will have 2 labels. Everything will have at least 1. So you're going to mark out the urgent things like we talked about and the important things. And then you're also going to mark every single thing in your list either revenue generating, operational, or strategic. If it's not one of those things, it may not be a task that you should be doing in your business. Just something to consider. So then I want you to look at your task list and figure out what goal each of these items in your list aligns with. Now, you should have goals set in your business. They should be short-term or long-term. But I want you to figure out what goal is this task moving me towards. Maybe your short-term goal is to get 2 new clients. Maybe your short-term goal is to add a new product to your product line. Whatever that goal is, or those goals that you have that you're working towards, I want you to I want you to mark out which goal this task is moving you towards. And if it's not moving you towards a goal, we're going to talk about that. So you have a whole list of tasks. You're marking them either urgent or important or nothing. You're also marking them in the different categories of revenue generating, operational, or strategic. And then you're marking whether it aligns to a specific short-term goal or a specific long-term goal or none at all. And which goal it is too, not just if it aligns, but which goal it actually aligns to. Then you're going to look at your list and you're going to find the things that are urgent, that are revenue generating, and that align with a goal. It could be a short-term or a long-term goal, but it should align with a single goal. Those are the things you should be focusing on first in your business. Anytime you come into work for the day, whatever that looks like, if you're working from home, if you're working from a coffee shop, if you're, working at night when you're off for your 9 to 5, those are the things you should be focusing on first. Urgent, revenue generating, working towards a goal. That's how you narrow down what you should be focusing on. And then within that list, you can kind of figure out which ones are the most urgent, but those are the things that you need to be focusing on first. Once those are completed, then you can start moving on from there. Then you start looking at the important ones, then you start looking at the important and revenue generating ones, and the strategic ones. And obviously you don't only ever want to be focusing on revenue generating activities. It'll depend on where you're at in your business and what your focus is. But urgent revenue generating are going to be the first things that you want to focus on. And then from there, it's more of a personal preference about what stage your business is actually in. So you're going to look at this whole list. And when you're ready to start working, or when you're ready to kind of sit down and plan your work, which I always recommend that you do, you're going to commit to the top 3. Whatever those top 3 are based on that prioritization that we just talked about. And you're going to say, okay, these are the 3 things that I need to accomplish next. Once you accomplish those 3 things, then you move on to the next 3. Then you move on to the next 3. And you're going to repeat this activity every time you need to sit down and plan your work. And it's going to feel really repetitive, but that's good. We want habits. We want this to become a habit where you're constantly reevaluating if the work that you're doing is providing value in your business or providing value to your customers. You want to make sure that you're spending your time on the things that actually matter, on the things that actually move the needle. When you're looking at your list and you're considering your top 3 priorities, I want you to consider your time, your energy, any financial costs, if there's anybody else that can be involved. And then also consider if it can be delegated or automated. Maybe you have a VA you can pass this along to, or if you're not at that stage yet, maybe you can automate it using something like Zapier. How can you kind of take this off your plate, even though it's urgent and time sensitive and it needs to be done right now? So you're going to categorize everything like we talked about. You're going to sit down, commit to your top 3, complete those top 3, and then go through the whole process again. And you don't have to recategorize everything every single time, but you should review that list fairly frequently to say, is this thing still important? Is this thing still urgent? Is this thing still something I want to be focusing on? Because your list is a living, breathing thing. It's going to be constantly changing because you're going to be constantly adding new things to it and potentially taking things away if your focus shifts. If something becomes less of a priority for you, say you want to stop guesting on podcast episodes, then that can come off your list and you can deprioritize those things within the time that you're spending in your business. So you always want to be focusing on the top 3 things, and don't go beyond that because it's going to be way too overwhelming. You're not going to be able to really effectively plan out longer than that. You want to look at the top 3 things, get those completed, and then go back to your list and say, okay, completed the top 3, what are the next top 3? And just keep it super simple. A couple quick tips for prioritizing every day in the morning or in the afternoon the day before, kind of however your mind works. I like to do it in the morning because sometimes things come up overnight and I have to reevaluate. So I do this in the morning. You're going to start your day with a priority check. What are the 3 things that you're going to be focusing on in your business today from that list that we created? And then you can consider using time blocking. So, okay, I have these 3 things. Let me commit to time in my calendar to actually get these 3 things accomplished. I had a weird little stutter there. Get these 3 things accomplished within my day. What are the time blocks that are open right now that I can block off to actually get these 3 things done? So, and then you're committing to it. You're making it happen as much as possible. And then throughout the day, you can kind of review and adjust and say, oh, this call with so-and-so took longer than I thought it was going to, so I need to push this other thing back. And then throughout the day, you can, review and adjust and say, oh, this call with so-and-so took longer and now I need to take lunch. And so I need to push this other thing back and I'm not gonna be able to complete this whole thing today, but I can at least start it. Adjust it as your day goes by because things are going to change. But by at least having something to start with, it can help you focus your day and not get totally sidetracked, totally off the map, off the path that you had planned for yourself. And I actually have something that can help you with this. It's called the Productivity Power Up Playbook, and it's available at laurenglynn.com/resources. And it will teach you 5 powerful productivity hacks to streamline your business. It also has a template for you to actually fill out all of the tasks in your business, and it gives you a spreadsheet where you can categorize them just like we talked about and actually look at the list of things in a Google Sheet. And then it explains how to do all of the next prioritization steps a little bit more in depth and how you can continue using it in the future as you work out what it is that you're trying to do. So before we wrap up, here's your action item for this week. Tonight, before the end of your workday, however your workday looks, but before the end of your workday, I want you to take 10 minutes to write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Not your to-do list, not every little thing that you have to do, but the 3 most important things that will move your business forward. I want you to start tomorrow focused and ready to go and not feeling so overwhelmed by all of the things that you have to do in your business. I want you to have those top 3 things ready to go for tomorrow morning because you've sat down to create this whole list. You know what's urgent and important. You know what the revenue generating things are. You know what's going to move you towards those larger goals in your business. And now you're ready to help to figure out what those 3 priorities are for you to focus on tomorrow. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a rating, a 5-star rating preferably, and a review. And I would love to know how it goes. If you give this a try and it works for you, or even if it doesn't work for you, I want to hear from you. I am the most active on Threads. I'm at Lauren G Consulting. And I really want to hear from you. How is this going for you? Have you been trying to create that list of tasks? Were you able to prioritize the top 3 things in your day? I really want to hear back from you. Thanks for listening to the Process to Profit podcast. Remember, your systems are the backbone of your business. I'm Lauren Glynn, and I'll talk to you again soon.